So there's a viral video going around about or documenting a conflict between the KKK and some residents, and there's that sort of debate over whether the violence is justified or not. The back and forth is that all violence is wrong, or that's a false equivalency. And I've got a bit of a longer response here that I think is worth taking note of. The reason people aren't able to see through the false equivalence is because they're basing their ideas on a concept of morality rather than a concept of rational self-interest. I'm attacking them as naive liberals, and I'm right on this particular point, but it's more of a broadly fundamental difference in the way that conservatives and liberals see the world. A conservative would interpret racism as immoral, and a violent attack against it as also immoral. They would conclude that two wrongs don't make a right. They interpret the value of behavior on whether it upholds these moral principles. A liberal would argue that racism is irrational, and that the only logical way to deal with it is through the use of extreme force. Now, there's some caveats to that. You have to get to root causes as well, or you're just perpetuating a cycle. But when faced with violent racists a foot away from you, there's no morality in holding to some set of commandments. After all, liberals believe that moral principles are contrived nonsense that only exist in our heads. They're useful as a way to order society when they can be demonstrated using tools of deduction, but they have no intrinsic value unto themselves. If you take a step back, you can see why the liberals are arguing for proactively taking them down, and the conservatives are creating a false equivalency. As usual, the conservatives are wrong here, but that's the breakdown of thought. Anyways.